Hello, how are you viewers? In this meeting, we are going to discuss about the organizational structure and design. So let's start it. These are the objectives of the today's meeting: organizational structure definition, types and the elements of the structure. And then we discuss about the design of the organization and what are the common organizational forms. But the fundamental question, why some organization have a different structure than other? Actually, during this meeting, I identify and describes the key factor in designing an organization structure, including work specialization, chain of command, span of control, centralization of decision making, formalization, business environment, um, and technology, strategy, and the organization form. And I will also identify some pitfalls inherent in tree structuring and describing how to manage them. So after attending this meeting, you will be able to identify that what is an organization structure, what it consists of, what are the major elements of the organizational structure, what is organizational design, and what factors on organization design depends upon, and what are some common organizational forms that organization might adopt for its structure. When an organization make changes to its structure, how does the restructuring affect the job performance and the organization? Okay. So let's start with the definition of the organizational structure. The definition of the organizational structure is basically formally dictates how jobs and tasks are divided and coordinated between individuals and groups within the company. For instance, if there is a one person in the company and he or she is performing all the work in the company, then he does not require an organizational structure. But as his work grows and he hire more individuals for the work, that become, for example, it grows to 5 people, it grows to 10 people, it grows to 20 people. And if it becomes a big company, then the company requires an organization structure. Organization structure basically divides the work into a different kind of a job and task, and how these jobs and tasks are coordinated with each other and how they are formally related with each other. So that's basically a fundamental purpose of the organization structure. It is similar to your body structure. Like your body has a different kind of a uh, organs which are performing a different kind of the function, but these organs are these organs are performing their function in a coordinated and integrated way. Similarly, in the organization, you require a structure which basically formally dictates how these different jobs and different tasks are related with each other, and how the overall work of the organization is divided into the different kind of a task. For instance, if you look into the work of the university has a basic work of the education and the research, and there are different kind of the department in the university. The university has divided the work among the different departments and how these departments are related with each other. So that's basically, it's a formal arrangement of the jobs, even though there are some informal connection and the lines. But when we are mm, explaining the organization structure, we are discussing more about the formal structure of the organization. An organizational chart is a one depiction of the organizational structure that represents every job in the organization and the formal reporting relationship between those jobs. And if you can well imagine, if the number of the people in the organization are high, then that organization structure chart becomes complex. So this organization chart uses different kind of job titles, and sometimes they use the name of the people in the name of the people, and then you if the number of the people in the organization are high, then you can divide the organization chart into different departments, and within that department, then there are certain organization chart of that department. So that becomes there are different kind of software that are also available for making these organizational chart. So if we look into these charts, so there are the 5 elements of the organizational structure, which has been on the basis of which the structure has been developed. Okay, what are these elements of the organizational structure? First is work specialization, and by work specialization we mean the way the tasks in the organization are divided into a separate job. If there are highly specialized job where workers do only one kind of the task, they may be efficient, but they will lack the flexibility and the job satisfaction. This idea was was popularized by the Henry Ford, and who thought that if the person has a one, if you can divide the whole work into the different kind of a job, and the one person can specialize in that job, then the that basically save a time for the company, and it increases the efficiency of the worker as well. But there is a trade-off. Yes, it increases the efficiency, the speed of the work increases, but the trade-off is basically that if the worker has the capacity to learn some other task, then that person, and then the person will not get the opportunity to learn the other tasks in the organization. And second is about the lack of satisfaction. Being a human, sometimes they get bored by doing the same kind of the work, so they want to have some variety. As we have discussed on job satisfaction, the work satisfaction model, the variety is basically related with the work satisfaction. So that is why basically work specialization has certain trade-off as well. Second element of the organization structure is chain of command. And by chain of command, we mean deals with the reporting relationship within the organization and capturing the flow of the authority down through the levels of the organization. It basically answers to the question of who reports to whom and signifies the formal authority relationship, chain of the command. For instance, you can see in the chain of the command in the army, you can see the chain of the command in the bureaucracy. There is a formal line of the authority in which the one person is reporting to the another person. If you let's say assistant manager is reporting to the manager, manager is reporting to divisional manager, divisional manager is reporting to director, director is reporting to vice president, and vice president is reporting to the president of the company. And in the case of the public company, the president is reporting to the board of the directors. So this kind of a formal relationship is known as a chain of the command. And sometimes some companies establish the unity in the chain of the command that the one person is reporting to the another person. But now we have a different kind of a complex structures like metric structure where the one person is also reporting to the multiple managers. Okay. The third organizational structure dimension is a span of control. And by span of the control, we mean represent how many employees each manager in the organization has responsibility for. That means, but let me chain of the command. Okay, I have covered the chain of the command. And the span of the control, narrow span of the control allow for close working relationship, but can significantly increase the labor costs and the cause employee to being resentful of being too closely supervised. If there is a narrow span of the control, when there is a narrow span of the control, then the organization has a taller structures. And when the span of the control is flat, that means that's a wide span of the control. That means the organization has a flat structures. Small span of the control leads to the tall organization structure, and the large span of the control leads to the flat structure. But there is a relationship between the span of the control and the organization, the productivity. Moderate span of the control is best for the organization productivity. But span of the control in the organization has been increased due to the different kind of the factor which creating a flatter structure in the organization and the people, and it also depends upon the skill and the competencies and the abilities of the people that how much supervision they require. Sometimes the organization can have a flatter structure depending upon the people competency and what kind of the supervision they require. So that depends on the organization as well. If you have a very wide span of the control, then you are not able to gauge the employees in the organizational work, and sometimes it is not possible for you to supervise their work as well. So that depending upon the employee competency and the ability as well. And the third factor is the centralization. And by centralization shows that their decisions are made in the organization. Centralized means that the managers at the top of the organization chart make decision, where decentralization means that the manager at the bottom of the organization chart are also making their decision. So it basically deals where the decisions are made in the organization, whether it's made at the top of the organization chart or whether the managers at the lower level also have a discretion to make the decision. That depends. That is also one element of the organization structure. And fourth is formalization. Fifth is formalization. Refer to the number of rules and regulation and procedures that are used to standardize behaviors and decision. Companies that have a lot of rules are formal. Those with fewer rules, less formal. And when we require formalization, we require formalization when we when organization want to deliver a standardized product or a service, then we require formalization. Because if there is a big organization and the large organization and they want to standardize their standards in the service and they want to standardize their standards in the product quality, so they need to have a certain kind of the formal rules and regulation, which basically ensure that every customer or the client is getting a same kind of the product or the service. Okay, these are the 5 elements of the organizational structure, which are the work specialization, chain of command, span of control, centralization, and formalization. And if we combine these 5 factors, they paint a picture of the organization, of the 2 different types of the organization. One is a mechanistic organization, and another is organic organization. Mechanistic organizations are efficient, rigid, predictable, standardized. Those companies thrive in the stable environment, and they have a structure that relies on high level of formalization and rigid and hierarchical chain of command, high degrees of specialization, centralization of decision making, and narrow span of control. Whereas the organic structure is flexible, adaptive, outward focused organization that thrive in dynamic environment, and they have a structure that rely on low formalization, weak or multiple chain of commands, low levels of specialization, and wide spans of control. Most organizations fall between the 2 types, and whether or not that is effective depends upon the environment of the organization, and what kind of the in which kind of the environment the organization is operating. And I will shortly discuss about the difference between the stable environment and the dynamic environment. So this is the organizational structure. Now let's discuss about the organizational design. These are you can compare mechanistic and the organic structure, like high degree of work specialization, low degree of work specialization. Like employees are encouraged to develop firm-specific knowledge and expertise within their areas of specialization, whereas in the organic organization, employees are encouraged to develop knowledge and expertise outside of their specialization as well. Now, the second component of this meeting or this video is the organizational design, and we define the organizational design as the process of creating, selecting, or changing the structure of organization. And that changing that process of creating, selecting, or changing the structure of the organization depends on some factors. And the factors which influence the organization design are the business environment, company strategy, technology, and the company size. What do we mean by the business environment? Business environment has 2 components. One is a task environment, another is a general environment. Task environment is the immediate environment of the company, where the general environment which is affecting the all company in the organization. Then we have a third layer, which is the global environment in which the companies are operating. So I'm going to discuss more about the task environment, which consists of customer, competitor, supplier, distributor, and other external factors to the firm. And the Porter 5 Forces model well explains the business environment of the company. When we talk about the stable environment, that stable environment don't change rapidly, and that are more suitable to the mechanistic design. What we mean the stable environment? That means that there is not a frequent changes of the supplier, there is not a frequent changes of the customer, and the level of uncertainty is low. and level of certainty is high, then we can say that the environment is a stable environment. Where the dynamic environment, there are a lot of players, customers and suppliers, and people are changing their taste, and sometimes suppliers are changing, and a lot of competition. So, and the level of uncertainty is high, and number of players are high. That environment become a dynamic environment for the company, and that also depend upon the industry life cycle as well. Some companies who are in the, let's say, in the beginning phase or the growth phase, so they experience uh, dynamic environment in that industry, uh, but it has some relationship with the industry life cycle. But you need to keep in that mind that level of certainty and the number of the players, that determine the stability or the dynamism of that particular environment. Okay, the dynamic environment is more suitable to the organic structure in the organization. Then we talk about then the company strategy, the another element for organizational design, and that describes the organizational objectives and goals and how it will capitalize on its asset to make the money. That means that what are their goals and how they are going to achieve their goals. That basically consists of their company strategy. There are different level of strategies: corporate strategies, business level strategies, and the functional strategy. But I will discuss, let's say, two strategies for you. One is about the low cost producers rely on selling products at the lowest possible cost and being as efficient as they can, often taking a mechanistic approach. That's a cost minimization strategy. For the cost minimization strategy, you are reducing the cost so you can increase the profit margin, and they rely more on the mechanistic approach of designing an organization. Whereas in the differentiation strategy, differentiation in terms of quality, where the companies are focusing on differentiating their product from the other companies in the terms of the quality, in terms of service, in terms of design. So they are more focusing on the providing high quality or unusual product and adapting to their environment quickly, and they are often taking an approach of the organic approach. So you can see, let's say, if you can take an example of an Apple company, they which have a innovation as a strategy, so they can come up. It's a kind of, actually they have a unique combination of differentiation and where they meet with the economies of scale. That's a unique combination for them. Anyhow, that's the second element of the company strategy. That what is the company strategy? Then is the technology, and by technology we mean that how the companies are transforming inputs and the outputs. And if there is a more routine technology, if there is a mass production at the factory production and the traditional way of production, so the mechanistic approach is more suitable for them. But if there is a customized engineering or a customized solution engineering, so the organic structure is more suitable. Then is about the company size, and the larger the organization becomes, the more likely it will be have to have a mechanistic structure. If there is a small structure, for example, 5, 10, 15, 20 people, even 40, 50 people, you can go with the organic structure. But if the organization size become large, then you need to have some mechanistic approach in organizing the work of the people in the organization. So these are some elements which we keep in our mind when we are designing an organization: business environment, company strategy, technology, and the company size. And what are the common forms on the basis of these organizational design? There are certain common organizational forms. I'm discussing some basic forms of the organization, not going into the complex form of the organization. One is about the simple structure. By simple structure, a small organization with one person at the top who is the owner, manager, and companies with a simple structure have a little specialization or the formalization. You can have an example of a shopkeeper, a small shopkeeper who has 2 or 3 individuals who are working with them, or owner of a small restaurant. That's another example of a simple structure where you have a waiter or a cook or a server. So these are the people. There's a simpler structure, less demand of the specialization, less demand of the formalization. Then we have a bureaucratic structure.